Welcome back, everybody. You're still watching Strictly Rates. I'm Louisa Boyes, and our next guest says that European governments are taxing consumption in favor of businesses. He points out that they're lowering corporate taxes to maintain competitiveness, and they're raising VAT rates to fill that gap. We're joined by Richard Asquith, head of VAT at TMF Group. Hi, Richard.
Morning.
This is across the board. Is it specifically to certain countries at the moment?
Well, it's a long-term issue that's been going on now around Europe and globally, and UK is very much in focus at the moment. And what's been happening is countries have been trying to move the tectonic plates of taxation around to juggle with the side effects of globalization. And what that means, as you say, is they're looking to attract and retain global investment, multinationals, so doing that by cutting corporation taxes. But the people who have to pay are the consumers. So VAT rates have been shooting up all over Europe. And in answer to your question, you know, how does it look in the different countries?
Yeah.
That's where it's interesting. So as this sort of seesaw rebalances, you get someone like Ireland who's very aggressively cut their corporation taxes from 50% down to the eye-watering 12.5% today, and been a huge success for attracting US industry particularly. They've put their VAT rates up to a staggering 23%, which is 3 or 4% above the European average. UK somewhere in the middle. We're rebalancing. We've seen corporation taxes fall down now to 21% in a couple of years' time. VAT's up pretty high at 20%. But then caught in the headlights of all of this are countries like Japan and US, who are left behind by all this tax competition with staggering rates of around 40% business tax, but no or very little
how many companies actually pay that rate of tax, though, right, in the United States?
In the US, well,
because there's so many loopholes and exemptions and everything else going on.
Yeah. Oh, there is for the very sophisticated, but the problem is they're all keeping their money offshore, waiting for some kind of reform, and then the US is starving itself of investment potential. So,
are you making any comment on whether this is the right or wrong thing to do? I mean, clearly governments have decided lower corporation tax, get investment and jobs created. Whether people then go out and spend is a secondary issue for us because of the higher VAT. I mean, is that the right policy, do you think?
Well, what an economist would say is yes, because what we don't want to do is tax income generation. So businesses are seen as creating jobs, investment for economies, which then they can use to pay dividends to shareholders and pay better salaries to the consumers, who can then go out.
An economist with us.
Yeah. It's a tough call. I mean, I think this is a very significant issue. You know, it's adding known knowns. These pre-programmed price hikes, including VAT, are adding significantly to inflation in the UK and elsewhere. Yeah. For my money, the petrol price increase, this is a squeeze on households' disposable income, so they can spend less, and that hurts companies. So it's kind of, you get the same roundabout way, and I don't know which one's the lesser evil, really.
Well, I think it's really interesting what it's doing to retail, because we're seeing retailers really being squeezed. We think that the current rises in VAT in Europe are costing consumers about €400 a year on their household spend. So you can see retailers buckling. HMV have just let 600 people go this morning. I think I read on my way in here today. So it's definitely tough on them.
How much elasticity is there typically, though, in VAT rates? I mean, is it like VAT plus minus a certain degree? That's what the consumer can take.
Well,
minus is always good.
That's a really good point, because the retailer is the person who administers the tax, so they have to make a decision: am I going to increase my prices? And what we're finding at the moment, in answer to your question, is the retailers aren't really successful at passing the rises on, because household incomes are shrinking. Inflation's going up faster than salaries at the moment. So this is why the likes of HMV and many of the other big retailers are buckling or going out of business.
Interesting.
So inelastic is the answer.
Okay, well, Richard, thank you very much. Richard Asquith, head of VAT at TMF Group. Thank you.